Sweat makes you think, but here we go, live for round number 1 between Tween, DanikB, Roa and Massa, of which we will start with DanikB, the young young Czech player from Isuba, having his teammate here for one of their first matches together, so to speak, in the 1v1 format. Of course, it's 120 points with finalist mode enabled, 10, 6, 4 and 3 being the points of which you can get in this round. Looks as if DanikB at the moment is on for 3 points, but no mistakes being made by these players in Sin City. DanikB trying to edge closer to Massa, trying to get himself the extra points he may need down the line. Massa not off to a good start here though. These 5 points may have all been for nothing, the bonus points he used at the start. Massa going for more speed, gets a more outside line though in the battle at the front as well as heating up. Roa and Tween getting very close. Tween loses speed going over there though, he might risk it. Massa fails it. Tween gets a little bump going over there, but he will get through, no problem. We have a bunch of 104s being driven there. Roa at the front with a 0.7, Tween second with a 0.8 and DanikB third with a 0.9. And already Massa, despite using the 5 bonus points, only has a total of 8 after the first round. And here we go on to round number 2 while we watch the Gaming Winterfest champion himself. He is currently fighting for the lead here. Goes for a more inside line there, but you can see multi-drifted a bit more, which allowed Roa and Tween to get a bit more exit speed. Roa touches on the inside pole there, makes contact and goes into the wall as a result. Tween goes a bit too high there, gets caught in a board slide Tony Hawk style, but that will put him out of the fight for first place. And now it is between DanikB and Massa, the battle of which DanikB won last round. Let's see if the same can be said for today. He is only 400s behind, but Massa will extend his lead slightly going over that section. DanikB takes it more inside and slower as a result and loses 2/10 to Massa and that 1 CP, so Massa can afford to save the end. It's a good drift going through there and Massa will take the 10 points. With a 104.9, DanikB second, Roa third, but Tween not managing to finish at all, so that's bad news for Tween, and he stays himself on single digits, the only player to do so, and he is 4 points behind DanikB. So let's watch Tween here, see what he can do to recover from his issues. And we go on to round number 3 on Sin City. Tween going slightly more outside there. Tween goes for a single drift here, which normally if someone multi-drifts, of course, using a lot more braking in the turn, then they will have a slower exit, but everyone looked to be going quite well going through there. Tween again going more outside here, maybe he's trying to adjust his angle so he doesn't go too high there, giving himself more room to breathe in that corner, and it is going successfully for him. He is in the lead at the moment, but a bad kind of corner exit there allows Roa back into the round. Roa going more inside, Tween going for the speed. It's a very close round between all these players here, 700s, 800s now between all 4 players. So the risk is on. Who can take the first place going through into the ending? It looks like Tween at the moment, but we get a little bit of air time. Massa overtaking, DanikB overtaking. What can Tween do to hold on? Not very much. And he nearly gets overtaken by Roa as well. 6,000s between Tween and Roa. And Massa takes the first place with a 104.8. Tween second with a 104.9. So Massa already taking an 11-point advantage here. And let's watch Roa this round. Oh, Roa gets a no drift early on. It's quite a tight turn there. Quite low speed, so of course you can see players having trouble with it. It's quite a close battle for second in points though, so this will be costly for Roa, especially if none of his other opponents make mistakes. I think Roa's further back now. I'm not sure what's happened to him. We'll take a look back in a second. But, oh, he's upside down, is he? So, Massa chasing down Tween in second place. Really inside there for Massa. But again, he get airtime on the exit. So this allows Tween this time to take advantage. Massa too close to the inside. Does make contact with the wall and has a full crash. Now, only Tween left up here at the top. on a good time here is Tween, but he should realise that only his teammate DanikB is behind him, and he has 6/10 behind him, so he has more than enough space. And he does make it with a 104.8. DanikB taking a useful 6 points. Massa might finish, and he does with 4 points, but Roa is nowhere to be seen, so that means Tween overtakes him, and DanikB overtakes him, so Roa from one round going from second until last, so not good there for Roa, but we will see what they can do in Kids in Love. I believe Massa was previously the world record holder on here, however, that has since changed. For those of you who have not seen, up at the top left, you may notice that the world records have changed. Paco has improved his Cold Sweat world record. Carl Jr. has obtained the Kids in Love world record. Pac has obtained the Sin City, and Carl has obtained the Toxic world record, so we're expecting very good things out of Pac and Carl here in the other match, of course, which will be available in a POV stream from, I believe, Spam and Carl Jr., so if you guys want to check that out, feel free, of course. We saw some good things here from Roa in this map, if I remember correctly. He had a very kind of consistent pace of which he was running throughout this match. Roa had a very dominant performance in his last match, but he was not against any of the players of which he is against now. And is arguably a higher level of opponent he is going up against, so Carl isn't streaming. Okay, Spam is streaming at the very least, I know that much. So, Tween doing the warm-up, 104.8, not bad at all. GLHF's being written in the chat, and we will get ourselves started off with round number 1 on Kids in Love by Wally. So let's start off with Roa here. So we have seen a lot of mistakes on this map, especially in the lower bracket matches. We're seeing players having quite a bit of trouble with getting clean rounds in, but of course again we are looking at some of the best players in the world here at the moment, so let's see what they can do on this map. No mistakes so far. Good start from everyone involved, 500s from bottom to top. DanikB in the lead here. Roa, I think he got a little bit of a gear down going over there and did go too far to the inside and crashes as a result. Where did DanikB go? He had to make a big adjustment. That's resulted in him dropping down to third, but now Tween is leading the round. Massa close behind. We've seen Massa have some good ends here. Supports the kind of risking style here, and you can see he's got a better line than Tween. Tween jumping into that turn. It's going to be equal between these two players going through the end. I think Massa might have more speed, of which he will. Has to do a bit of a wiggle there and lose his speed, so that means Tween takes the win and gets first place. Massa nearly getting caught in the swimming pool there. Only got 6 points as a result. DanikB gets 4, and Roa did not manage to finish again, so really, really bad news for Roa there. Already 9 points behind third place. So let's watch Massa this time, the current points leader, but only by 8 points. Still a close race up here at the top. Massa dropping down through that left-hander there. Oh, and he touches the pole. Not a great round for Massa here, and we will see his opponents catching up on him in points as a result, but Roa needs to get some good points from this. He'll be hunting down Tween for those 10, but Tween has a good lead here. Ooh, Roa going through that turn, but he didn't have his good exit here. That results in DanikB being able to catch up slightly. Roa with a better exit though, but these two battling's allowing Tween there's a bit more breathing space to get back and secure himself the round win here. Roa not with the best line, it results in him jumping into the turn. Tween with the lead. Who's going to have the best ending here out of DanikB and Roa? Roa with slightly more speed. Roa fails it. Tween losing some speed as well, but does hold the first place. DanikB gets second. Where's Roa? He's not going to make it again. That's 3 rounds in a row for Roa. His teammates again, his opponents are taking a very big lead over Roa at the moment. So DanikB 15 points ahead of Roa already. So Roa certainly not in this position last week. yesterday, pardon me. So great time for a timeout. Great call there by Roa, taking the time he needs just to have a breather, and then move on, and then refocus and get some good rounds in, which of course he's clearly capable of. But little recap here, of course. Roa, 17 points, not the greatest start. DanikB, 32 points. And then Tween on 40 points and Massa on 42. So very close up here at the top. First until third, only a 10-point difference. So looking very good for at least the battle for the top here at the moment. Again, top two will advance further into the winner bracket final, I believe, which will be played later on. And then bottom two will go into the lower bracket matches against those which made it through the lower bracket previous. So just to give you guys a bit of an idea of who will be going where from this match. This is match number 6. Fourth in this match will be going against Revolution and Cappuccino. So at the moment that would be Roa. And third in this match will be going against Ager and Speedy. And match number 11, they will both be played. The Revolution Cat match will be played at 4 straight after this, and the Ager Speedy match will be played at 5 straight following that. So following on from this, we will have some great matches of which we'll be looking to here, but the question is here, will Roa be able to come back after his initial really poor start, it must be said, especially these last few rounds. We've seen some good pace from him on these maps, but it's not coming out into some tangible points he can take away. Too many mistakes from the man from Ecorp, but as we said, he's certainly an extremely capable player, and let's see what he can do as we go back into round number 3 on Kids in Love. Here we go. So let's watch Roa this time. Let's see what the tactical timeout has done for him. Let's see if he manages to recover any lost points right here. Everyone's off to a good start here. Oh, Massa going really inside there, but it works out for him. He goes over the little ram on the transition in there, so he does get a little bump, but he's still in first place. However, Tween overtaking with much more speed, going through that tight right-hander. And more speed through the long blue part. Going into this jump, fast left-hander. And we're keeping our positions, but Roa actually has more speed than Massa, but this turn can decide a lot. And Roa is powering ahead of Massa here at the moment and looking to just slip into the lead in front of Tween here, but Tween with more exit speed, but there's 200s between these two players. Let's see what Roa can do in this last section. Jumps a bit more inside there, but Tween will have slight more exit. Roa going for a little bit more of a jump there, but it's all going to come down into this last corner. Massa with a lot of speed. Can he change the lead here? He's not going to have the best exit here, but it's going to be a 3-man fight for the win, and Massa takes it. So a really, really good end there by Massa. And Roa actually has to settle for third after such a good comeback throughout that round. Tween taking second, and DanikB settling for fourth. At least we have 4 people finishing there, but Massa now taking a 6-point lead after that incredible end to that round there. That's what we like to see from a player of Massa's calibre. Speaking of Massa, let's watch him in this round. Let's see what he can do. Again, going for that inside line, doesn't have to worry about the transition as he has a better approach to it. We've seen Tween gaining over him at this time, but he goes a bit wider there to get more speed. Taking it inside, going through the long, fast right-hander, though, want to get as much speed through here as possible. Jumping into the left here, he manages to keep Roa at bay this time. What about this right-hander? He has a bit of a shallow approach to it, which results in Roa being able to take a wider entry and as such take more speed. And now Massa has to sacrifice a position here, but he's not done in this round just yet. We've seen an incredible end from him already. Let's see if we can see it again. However, it's not looking good for him. He's 0.2 behind. Roa and Tween fighting for the lead here. Tween looking to overtake, but he got a little bit of airtime there, which looks like Roa's going to take it, and he will. For 104.7. With the 10 points being taken by Roa. Great 10 points from him there, and another last position by DanikB. So Tween again in second place, Massa this time in third, so switching with Roa there almost. And now we move on to Toxic by Bastamon. So again, Massa still in the lead here, but he's only got a 4-point lead over Tween. And Roa's got a hell of a battle to go for here if he wants to get himself back into the winner bracket spots. 21 points between him and Tween. So Toxic, the current world record on this is a 104.931 by Carl Jr. It was previously by Massa. I believe he's the only other person participating in Pro League that does have a 104. Let me just double check that for you though. So currently the 104s, we have Paco 104.994, Omnipots is not participating, a 968, Massa 945, and Carl Jr. a 931. Watch players finish the warm-up here. A very interesting track as Toxic uses a lot of the same blocks twice in quite ingenuitive ways. And we've seen quite a lot of trouble for some players here to keep a consistent pace on this, and quite a bit of trouble for players in the ending of this match. This map, sorry. Yes, Massa has lost 2 world records since yesterday, that is correct. He lost Sin City and he lost Toxic. But here we go, GLHF's in the chat, and we go live on map number 3, I believe this is. Yep, so map number 3, round number 1, Toxic. Let's watch Massa here, the previous world record holder. So Massa makes the first mistake, Roa quickly joining him though, so it is an Asuba tag team taking the top 2 positions up at the top. You see DanikB here falling slightly back though, not with the best line going through there. He does have very comfortable advantage over Massa though, so if he's not feeling confident in this map he can afford to safe. However, Massa's certainly not a player I would want chasing me down. Tween though with a comfortable lead here of 0.3, but Massa is catching DanikB here. It's down to 0.3 of a second. Definitely not an insurmountable gap, now only down to 0.2. DanikB with not the best approach going through here, and Massa is now right behind him, right beside him even now. DanikB's going to need a good end here. Goes a bit wider there, getting an inside end, but will he keep Massa at bay? He will, only just though. 0.03 of a second at the end there by Massa, so a fantastic recovery there from him. But Tween takes the comfortable win for 105.5. It's a good time by Tween, only 0.6 from the world record. Let's see if he can keep that pace up and now extend his lead on this match. It's a very fragile 2 points at the moment. Let's see what he can do in this round. Let's focus on Tween. Oh, Roa making another mistake though. That'll not help him in his battle to get closer to Tween and Massa here though. He's already 10 points behind DanikB, but Tween here wanting to keep his lead in the overall points, not sacrifice it to Massa straight away. But not much he can do when Massa's in this kind of pace. Look at a low 105 here from Massa, and he's keeping the lead strongly here. 0.2 ahead of Tween at the moment. Can Massa hold on though? Oh, Tween going for the kind of side jump there. They're both on fantastic times here, but Massa still keeping Tween at bay here with 0.2 of a second. This is going to be a great time there from Massa, and he will finish off a 105.1. An incredible time there by Massa, only 0.2 from the world record. Tween with a fantastic time of his own of a 105.3, but just wasn't enough to cope with Massa's pace there. Let's see if he can do a comparable round here once again. He's now 2 points ahead of Tween. Only 500s between them all at the start. Roa and DanikB will be looking for a good round here to get their focus back in the match. Very close between all the players here at the moment. Great starts by all of them. DanikB falling a bit back here though, 0.1 behind this main group. 7,000s between them all at the front. I believe that was Tween falling off at the side there though. Has to make a big adjustment and is now quite far behind. Has to get a little slide there, but it does recover from it. And keeps the lead off 0.2 over Roa. Let's focus on Roa. He's on a decent run here, but as I say that, it goes too wide and clips the outside. DanikB now takes second, but he's been hunted down by Tween. But Massa, again, an absolute blistering time at the moment. Once again, improving on his previous round time. He's going for it once again. And a faster time here, a 105.108 being driven by Massa. Less than 2/10 from the world record, and now asserting his dominance on Toxic, showing that he is here to win TMProLeague Season 2. What will we see from any of the players trying to match this kind of pace from Massa? I'm not sure anyone can match this kind of pace that he's putting down here. Now let's watch DanikB though. Massa taking the lead. DanikB with a better start here though, goes a bit wider. Allows him to jump a bit further down there. Goes a bit wider there than most of the other players, but allows him a bit better exit speed. Very close round here, only 600s between all players. DanikB and Roa not with the best landings, but it means they don't get airtime. Massa and Tween did. DanikB too close to the left hand side though. Kisses the ball. And he is out of the round. Roa as well going too close to the left hand side. Both players guilty of making small mistakes there. Will cost them precious points here and allow Tween and Massa to further extend their points gap and secure their positions in the winner bracket going forward. So Tween here looking for the win in the round. A 10th ahead of Massa. Oh, Massa fails the ending though, and DanikB snipes the 6 points from him. So that shows how that ending can really catch some people out. Again, good pace by Tween here. Another 105 mid to low. And keeping himself equal on points with Massa despite Massa's incredible performance in those 2 rounds. So I'm sure Tween will be happy with that. Kept himself at a good pace. But now we move on to Cold Sweat by Santana, of which the world record here is a 103.78 by Pack. Let's see. Massa's a 103.857 here. DanikB a 103.998. And we don't have the information of what Tween or Roa have done here. So well, I'll wait to see if we can get any information from this warm-up here. Is, I would say, the track that the players have found most difficult in this map pack due to the many walls quite close on each side. Results in some easy mistakes being made from players. We saw some absolute hilarity in one of the lower bracket matches, the last match of the night yesterday. Saw a lot of mistakes being made on this map that can catch you out if you're not careful. That's for sure. Massa and Roa showing us how this map's done. Bit of a tricky end here. Quite a low jump. 103.8 there by Roa though. Not bad at all. So, match starting on our 4th map now. Cold Sweat by Santana. And here we go, round number 1. Let's watch Massa this time. Let's see what kind of pace he can set. Already up into the lead, only at the start though. Good exit there though, fighting with DanikB now for the top position. DanikB right inside him. DanikB has to release just to go due to his line. Let's look a bit further back. Here we see Roa battling with DanikB initially. Roa up in 3rd place here at the moment, trying to hunt down DanikB for those extra points. Tween down at the back though, so this will be really good for Massa. A 7-point advantage potentially for him. Well, let's see where Tween is. He's certainly not too far behind, and there's 2 players relatively close together, so any big mistakes by them and Tween can capitalise, but Massa far away here in the lead, 0.3 ahead. DanikB dropping back at the ending there though. Tween fails the ending completely. So instead of only getting 3 points there, he'll have to settle with 0. Massa starting us off at 104.2 though. Roa in 2nd, DanikB in 3rd. So, round number 2 here. Let's watch Tween from the start this time. Definitely not off a good start here though. DanikB is well having trouble. And a super tag team down at the bottom. Roa with a nice fast right-hander there going over the off-road section, and Massa is dropping behind him, allowing Tween the chance to catch up here. And Tween's only 0.2 behind the lead now. Tween perhaps putting the heat on, shifting up the gears in this match. But Massa and Roa very close here going over this next off-road section. Tween perhaps taking just too much from the track than it was able to give him. But Massa looking for another 10 points here. On good times are the players, but Roa has to settle for second place. So again another 10 points for Massa, 6 for Roa, 4 for Tween and 3 for DanikB. So this does allow Roa to get slightly closer to DanikB, but he's still 33 points behind Tween. But Massa now has a lead of, I believe that is 14 points. Let's watch Roa this round. At the bottom, not an expected place, it must be said, for Roa. Especially after his amazing performance yesterday, but perhaps only playing one match has taken its toll. DanikB again having trouble going over that little jump turn. And Roa not too far behind though, only a 10th away from the battle at the front between Tween and Massa. 200s between the two players fighting for the lead. Roa having to drop back due to an awkward line. Let's watch Massa and Tween here battling out for the win. Oh, Tween has to go for a wider line there, results in him dropping back ever slightly, but here he comes again. Massa with a great exit though to this corner. Tween having a bit more speed though. Who's going to have it going through here? Massa tries to cut more for the inside line, which results in him losing speed, but Tween's right here with him. Who's going to have the best exit to this turn? Tween did not manage to get it by 0.005 of a second, having to settle for the 6 points, with Massa getting another great time here with a 104.2, taking him home the 10 points. So DanikB calling for a break. Good decision again from DanikB. So the two players calling for breaks are the two players at the bottom two positions at the moment, which shows clearly perhaps they need to turn their performances around here. They need to be getting the good times in, the good rounds, which we're just not seeing from DanikB and Roa at the moment. We're not seeing Roa challenge for these top positions as we'd expect. Same with DanikB. We're seeing just a lot of mistakes being made by these players. And as well, of course, stopping the momentum of the players Massa and Tween running away with this match almost. DanikB, of course, will be wanting to halt any sort of any head of steam they'll have, just to give himself as much as a chance as possible of continuing into the upper bracket. So he wants to make it easy on himself, but he's still got 26 points to recover to his teammate. Certainly not the best stage for him at the moment, but I'm sure once he's got his head back on track, he can start challenging for the better times in this. But the question is what we will see once the timeout is over. Will we see a revitalised DanikB? Will we see some other players taking advantage of this? Will we see Roa using this as almost a second timeout? As of course his first one didn't seem to go so well there. All those questions will be answered by the last round, of which we will be going on to on Cold Sweat. It's also a question of when you take the timeouts in matches such like these. Do you take it at the first round of a new map, so that means once the map starts that you're going into another map with your game face on, so to speak? Or do you take it mid a map you're failing on and try and reset and get your focus back on a map you're failing on? So of course different players will take different approaches to it, but let's focus on DanikB here and see what he manages to do after that timeout. So DanikB, not with the best start here, going a bit too wide there. And he gets the gear down, so it's clearly not going well for him already. Oh, Tween, no. biting off more than he could chew there. And does drop down behind DanikB, but DanikB, despite making no mistakes, is already 4/10 behind Massa at the moment. Not the best kind of pace here from him at this time. Perhaps this is not one of his best maps though. Even Tween's now catching up on him. DanikB will need to step it up in this round, but that's not the way to do it. Crashes on the left hand side here, but we see Massa on another good time here. And ending it with 4/10 ahead of Roa here at the moment. As long as he gets a good ending here, he will be fine. And he finishes off with a 104.19. So, nice time there by Massa once again. Showing that he's really kind of hitting his peak form here. Just in time. And he is now finalist. So he's finalist when his closest opponent is only on 98 points. So the key part of that is then that he has at least a 3-round advantage over Tween at the moment. So he can pretty much use this whole map to secure himself the first position here. And this is a map he holds world record on. We have seen some incredible times from him in this map. So he couldn't have asked for this map to come at a better time, arguably. Let's have him show us through this map. So, of course, if this was not a warm-up, Massa would have won it at the moment, but let's see what time he ends up with. 103.81, it's only 3/10 from the world record there. So Massa showing that his pace is not just limited to only 1 or 2 maps here, showing that he's got it all on all of them. Let's see if he has what's required though here to take finalist and take first place in his first time of asking. Is this going to be Massa's map? Going too wide there though, already with a big disadvantage here. 0.3 of a second he'll need to make up, and even more with that turn there. 0.6 behind. Roa here, looking to get himself off of the foot of the scoreboard, but he needs to battle back through the Isuba blockade here. DanikB up in the lead though, who's certainly not who Roa wants to see in first place. But Massa is already only 3/10 of a second behind. He's already recovered 0.3 on these players in front of him. There's not long left in this track. Oh, and he gets a gear down going through there, so that will not be good enough from Massa, and he crashes, so he will not be able to take this round. However, Roa looking for a good 10 points here, and he gets it with a 104.3, followed by 2 104s by Tween and DanikB in that order. So Roa brings himself up to 75 points, along with DanikB and now Tween on 104. So he needs a win and a second place to get himself in finalist in 2 rounds. But will he get it on Makes You Think? Or will it even matter? Will Massa win anyway? Who knows? So we'll focus on Roa at the start of this round, as he is the closest person at least to Massa at this time. This time he's in the lead though. We saw what Massa could do through the timing sheet almost. Despite being at such a disadvantage, he managed to recover so quickly. But let's see what he can do now that he's in the best position in this round, in first place. The exact position that he needs. Tween, his closest opponent, has kissed the wall, and he is out of the round. Out of the fight for first place. He is over a second behind here. But Roa needs to catch Massa here if the fight for first place is going to go on any longer. Only a 10th behind, but is it going to be enough? Roa perhaps more exit, but not the best line here. Massa with a good exit to that section there. Is it all going to be all said and done by the end of this round? Massa only has the rooftop left, and he does secure it with a 103.88, getting himself the first position in this match with a very dominant performance over some incredibly good players for Massa. So extremely good job by him, and he finishes it off in first place. Now the question is, who's going to take second? Tween currently on 107 points, get last in the previous round there. So you'll need first place and third place. 2 second places won't cut it here. He needs to pick up his pace on, makes you think. But Roa and DanikB do not want that to happen. They want to cause Tween as much trouble as they can. DanikB not going so good in the attempt to do that. Roa's on a good time here though, but where is DanikB? He's not in place to deny Tween here at the moment. Deny Tween any additional points. Roa still in the lead here at the moment. Of course, now the 10 points are more easily up for grabs now that Massa is not here. We do have Roa still in the lead. His closest opponent is 5 tenths behind him, so he can afford to simply save this round if he so wishes. Roa still going for it here, still on a good time, looking to show that he's got the pace to match the rest of the players as well, but he has to opt for the safe finish there. Didn't get as good an angle going through that rooftop section as he would have liked, and Tween nearly sniped it there. Only 700s behind when all said and done, but Roa still managed what he set out for anyway. Brings himself on to 89 points, but Tween potentially only 1 round away here, but he needs to get first if he's going to get finalist in this round. Again, of course, it's not too costly for him in the sense when you look at he'll just need another round, but that allows Roa and DanikB the chances to get back closer to him, and it's certainly not going to pan out well for him here if he is in last position. DanikB and Roa fighting for first place now. Both off to a good start here. DanikB goes a bit too wide there though, loses speed and loses time to Roa. Roa off to a great start here again, looking for a 103 of his own. DanikB's certainly no slouch on this map either. But Roa extending his gap to 2.5 tenths here going forward. Oh, DanikB kind of jumps into that turn there, not the right approach. And he will not take these points from Roa. Of course, if Roa fails the ending, you never know, but he gets it no problem for 104.1. Where DanikB though actually lost points to Tween as well, so Tween does still get 6 points, but he's only in 119. It's only a 20 point gap between him and DanikB, so if Roa wins this round, that will bring him to 109. So that means Tween will only have 11 point gap for Roa between him and finalist. However, we go on to Sin City, a gamers assembly map, which might have another factor of which might need to be taken into account here is, of course, Tween and Roa might be more trained here than DanikB, since they will be using this map in the upcoming gamers assembly tournament. So let's see what the players can do on Sin City by MD point. World record here was recently taken by Pack, a 104.350. Previously it was by Massa, a 104.391. The only other times we see here from the players is DanikB a 104.497 and Roa 104.525. But I believe Tween does a lot of his training offline, so that might explain why the players, his times aren't represented here. As you can see, certainly extremely capable player. Tween showing us how it's done on Sin City. If we check just quickly as to what the performance was from these players in the last time. So Roa had the worst performance on this map. DanikB would essentially taken second, and Tween third. So really here, a bit kind of offset by the fact Massa pretty much dominated the rounds in this, but nevertheless, here we go live on round number 1 of Sin City. So what can the players do here? We'll focus on Tween at this time. Only needs to finish this map, but he'll be wanting to deny Roa and DanikB any possible points they can take forward. Tween with a great turn going through there, opts to stay on the dirt and goes for a little extra drift going through there. Yeah, still in the lead though. Tween holding it strong here. Oh, Roa kind of dives into that turn there, but as a result he's catching up on Tween here. DanikB's dropped back, so you won't be getting any good points from here though, but the battle is here. Roa will be wanting this win as best as he can. But Roa clips the rooftop block and actually sacrifices his position to DanikB, so definitely not good for him there. And Tween will go forward to take the win with a 104.69. So great job there by Tween. And the GL's been written for him on his first finalist attempt again. If Tween manages to get the second place here, he will proceed to the upper bracket final with Massa. However, Roa and DanikB will be sent down to the lower bracket. They will not be eliminated. However, Roa looking to fight back here already, but let's continue to focus on Tween since it is his first finalist attempt now. And he's not starting it from the best position. He's behind both his teammate and Roa. What can the enemies of Tween do this time? Not so much, as he powers through the field with a great section there. What happened to Roa? Roa's fell down, so only DanikB can deny Tween here. Can Danik reach the kind of form he's been looking for throughout this match? He will not. He will crash early on. Is this GG? Will Tween finish off this match rather? 4/10 ahead of Roa. There's not anything Roa can do unless Tween makes a mistake. Going through the last turn, doesn't get a no drift. And Tween closes us off with a 104.96, taking second place and sending both Roa and DanikB down to the lower bracket. So that match finishes off with Massa taking the win, Tween taking second place, Roa taking third, and DanikB taking fourth.